There's a lot of noise right now about AI replacing designers. And while that's worth paying attention to, I think we're missing something more important. Most designers are already disrupting their own business by trying to be everything to everyone. AI is just another reminder of why that strategy no longer works. The designers who are going to be insulated from whatever AI throws at us are the ones who are crystal clear about their positioning, about their ideal clients, and about the specific value they deliver. Because you can't compete with AI technology on price or speed. It'll win every single time. But you can absolutely compete on depth, on expertise, and on trust. And that's built through niche clarity. Welcome to Resourceful Designer. I'm Mark Decote, and today we're talking about the one decision that could completely transform your freelance design business: finding your niche. Let me ask you something. What do you do? If you're like most freelance designers I talk to, your answer probably sounds something like this. Well, I do graphic design, web design, branding, logo work, package design, social media graphics, and the list goes on. And here's why that sounds familiar. Because it's the exact same thing that I used to use, that I used to tell my clients. In fact, most designers sound like this at some point in their freelance career. You see, when you're starting out as a freelancer, there's this underlying fear that drives almost everything we do. It's the fear that if we narrow our focus too much, we'll miss out on opportunities. If we tell potential clients what we don't do, we're afraid that they're just going to go hire someone else. And you know what? They absolutely will. And that's exactly what you want. See, here's what most of us don't realize. When you try to appeal to everyone, you end up appealing to no one. Your marketing message becomes so watered down, so generic, that it doesn't stick in anyone's mind. You're just another designer in a large sea of designers. People competing primarily on price because there's nothing distinctive about what they offer. And here's what's important to understand. The more generalist you are, the more replaceable you become. Not just by other designers, but now by AI tools that are getting frighteningly good at commodity design work. When you try to be everything to everyone, you're essentially competing in the exact same space where automation is the most effective. You're doing the kind of work that's easy to describe, easy to scale, and easy to commoditize. And that's the exact work that AI technology can replicate. But the moment you get specific about who you serve and how you serve them, the moment you say, I help restaurant owners build their brand identity, or I create custom websites for fitness coaches, or whatever, something in that moment shifts. Suddenly, you're not competing with every designer in your city. And you're definitely not competing with generic AI tools. You're competing in a category of one. You're the specialist. You're the expert in that specific space. And here's what's really powerful about that. Specialists can charge more. They attract better clients, they do more meaningful work, and they wake up excited about their projects instead of dreading them. The question isn't whether you can afford to get specific with your business. The question is, can you afford not to? So if being everything to everyone is the trap, what's the alternative? How do you actually figure out your niche? Well, there are three fundamental questions you need to ask yourself. The first question is, who are you trying to help? Now, this isn't about age demographics or income brackets, though that may be a part of it. It's about identifying the specific group of people with a specific problem that you're uniquely positioned to solve. Are you helping small business owners establish their visual brand? Are you building websites for coaches and consultants? Are you creating package design specifically for indie product brands? Each of these is a completely different market with completely different needs. So who are you trying to help? Now, the second thing is, why are you trying to help them? This is about your motivation. Is it because you genuinely care about this type of work? Is it because you have experience in this industry that most designers don't? Is it because you have a personal connection to this market? The why matters because it's what sustains you when the work gets tough. If you're just chasing the money, that's going to eventually show up in your work quality. But if you're genuinely passionate about helping a specific type of client solve their design problems, that passion becomes magnetic. I knew a great designer who specialized in creating websites for dentists. I've talked about her before on the podcast. Well, she cornered the market and was making a lot of money. The problem was that she didn't care anything about the dental industry. She had started this niche by accident after creating a couple of websites for dentists and decided to make a go at it. And she quickly built her client base to be several dozen dental websites. But after a couple of years of doing this, the monotony of working day in, day out in a niche that she had absolutely no passion for, it got the better of her, and she eventually just closed the business. And if I remember correctly, I think she stopped designing altogether. She lost that passion. So you have to ask yourself, why are you trying to help them? And the third question is, how will you help them? Now, this is about your method. What specific services, processes, or approaches will you use? Are you offering full service branding packages, quick turnaround logo design, strategic web design consultation? What will it be? Being clear on how you're going to help is crucial because it allows you to set boundaries and manage client expectations. You're not trying to be all things. You're offering a specific solution. Now, these three pillars, the who, the why, and the how, draws the right people to you and naturally repels the wrong ones. So let's go deeper here, because understanding these three pillars is one thing, but actually implementing them requires you to get specific with some tough questions. First, ask yourself, who is my dream client? I want you to think about this seriously. Not just, anyone who will pay me. That's not a dream client. That's, honestly, desperation. Your dream client is someone you actually want to work with, someone whose business you believe in, someone who values good design and is willing to invest in it. So what size company are they? Are you working with solopreneurs, small agencies, established corporations? Each size brings different challenges and different budgets. What industry are they in? What are their pain points? What keeps them up at night? The more specific you can be in answering this, the better you can position yourself as the solution. Next, what three adjectives best describe your business? Now, this is kind of a branding exercise, but it's incredibly clarifying. If I asked 3 current clients to describe your work in 3 words, what would they say? Creative, strategic, reliable, cutting edge, approachable. There are so many things they can choose. And more importantly, are those the 3 words you want to be known for? Because if not, that tells you something about the adjustments you need to make. Now, here's another critical one. What pain points are you trying to address? This is where strategy meets design. Your clients aren't hiring you because they want pretty colors and nice fonts, though those things do matter. They're hiring you because they have a business problem that needs solving. Maybe they're invisible in their market and they need a strong visual identity. Maybe they're losing customers to competitors who have a better website. Maybe they're not being taken seriously because their branding looks amateurish. When you understand the actual pain you're solving, the business impact of bad design, you can position yourself completely differently in conversations with those potential clients. Now ask yourself, what 3 products or services will I offer? And this is where specificity becomes power. I'm not saying limit yourself to 3 services forever, but right now, as you're starting out, what are the 3 core things you do best? Is it logo design? Is it brand guidelines? Maybe web design, package design, label creation, mock-ups, full service branding, brand strategy, whatever it is. By limiting your core offerings to just 3, you become excellent at those specific things. And your process gets refined. Your pricing gets smarter, and your marketing becomes crystal clear. Now, with that in mind, this next question becomes really essential. And that's, what am I really good at? Or what could I be the best at? And more importantly, what do I understand about my client's business that goes beyond design execution? Because here's the truth. AI is going to get better at the technical execution of design. But what AI can't do is understand industry nuances. It can't understand client psychology or strategic positioning. So the question isn't just, what design work am I best at? It's, what depth of expertise do I have that a tool can never replicate? There's a difference between things you can do and things you're generally exceptional at, and things you understand at a strategic level that create real business value for your clients. One of the biggest mistakes freelancers make is trying to offer services that fall into the first category, the stuff they can do, instead of doubling down on the second. For example, you might be able to do motion graphics, but if video design isn't your passion and it's not where your skills shine, why are you offering that service? Someone else can do it better. And if you do it, you'll spend your energy on something that doesn't excite you. More importantly, you're competing in a space where commoditization is inevitable. Okay, so we've asked these defining questions, but here's where most people get stuck. They don't have a good answer yet because they haven't done the real detective work. That's why I want you to walk through a 3-part self-audit that will give you the clarity that you need. Part 1, know yourself. Start looking at your current client base and the projects you've completed. What problems have you been solving? What outcomes have you been delivering? Write this down. No, I mean actually write it down, not in your head. That doesn't count. Get yourself a notebook or open a document on your computer and list out the tangible problems you solve for your clients. Then ask, why should people choose me over the competition? And I don't want to hear, well, because I'm good or because I'm affordable. I want the real answer. What's your unfair advantage? Is it your strategic thinking, your industry knowledge, your ability to understand their market, your turnaround time, your design aesthetics? You need to figure this sort of stuff out. And finally, who actually benefits the most from what I do? Not who you want to attract. Who are the clients that, in retrospect, were the absolute best fit for your work? Then part 2, determine your goals. And this is about honest assessment. Are you happy with your current client base? And more importantly, are they happy with you? If the answer to either of these questions is no, that's not a failure. That's a data point that tells you something needs to change. What would you like to change? Would you like to work with bigger companies with bigger budgets? Would you like to work on more strategic projects? Would you like to work with creative entrepreneurs instead of corporate clients? Would you like projects with longer timelines so you can do some deeper thinking? Asking yourself these questions brings us to the crucial part. How does all of this align with your end goals for your business? Because your niche should serve a bigger vision. If your goal is to build a 6-figure freelance business, that's going to look a lot different than if your goal is to work 20 hours a week and have significant freedom. Your niche needs to get you where you actually want to go. And then part 3 is analyze past client interactions. This is the one where most people will skip. Honestly, it's one of the most valuable. Go back and look at the projects that didn't go well. What themes come up? Were the clients unclear about what they wanted? Did they undervalue design? Were they difficult to communicate with? Did scope creep out of control? Now flip it. What have you done exceptionally well? What projects made you feel energized instead of depleted? What clients did you never have to follow up with on payments? What projects got you genuine testimonials or referrals? And here's the real important part. Interview your past and current clients. It doesn't have to be formal, a simple email or phone call, and ask them, what did you like about working with me? What didn't you like? Were there things I could have done better? And if you're willing to ask it, why did you choose me instead of other designers? The answers to these questions are gold, and they show you what you're actually good at, not what you think you're good at. All right, so I've told you what work has to be done. You've asked the hard questions. You've audited your experience. And now it's time to crystallize all of that into something powerful, a positioning statement. Now, a positioning statement is a single sentence that tells people exactly what you do and why they should care. It's specific, it's memorable, and yes, it's intentionally narrow. Here's the framework. Your business name is the one, and then the type of service or shop that appeals to your specific target customer because, and then you list why you're uniquely great. That's it. Let me give you some examples so you understand how this works for a designer. Maria's Brand Studio is the one full-service branding partner that appeals to women-owned service businesses because we combine strategic thinking with design that actually converts. Here's another one. Design and Code is the one web design agency that appeals to fitness entrepreneurs because we understand both design excellence and user experience in the health and wellness space. Or how about this one? Package First is the one package design specialist that appeals to indie product creators because we handle everything from concept to production support. Now, I want to be really clear about something here. Your positioning statement might feel limiting. It might feel like you're closing doors. And honestly, you are. But that's the whole point. You are saying, I'm not for everyone. And I'm okay with that. Because the designers who succeed are the ones who embrace that thought. They understand that saying no to everything that isn't in their niche actually allows them to say a much bigger yes to the work that actually matters to them. Your positioning statement is also your elevator pitch. It's what you say when someone at a networking event asks, what do you do? It's what goes onto your website. It's the North Star for every decision you make about your business. But here's what I want to emphasize. This doesn't have to be perfect right now. Your positioning statement will evolve. You'll test it, you'll learn from it, you'll refine it, and that's not failure at all. It's the natural process of building a sustainable freelance business. Let me leave you with this. If you try to reach everyone, you will reach no one. That's not my opinion. That's a fundamental truth about marketing and positioning. The riches are in the niches, as they say. The riches are in the niches doesn't rhyme as well, so the riches are in the niches. But I also know that getting specific can be scary. You're worried about alienating current clients. You're worried about missing opportunities. You're worried about making the wrong choice. Well, here's my advice. Pick a direction and start operating within that framework. Your first positioning statement doesn't have to be the right one forever. You'll quickly determine what adjustments need to be made as you continue to operate your business. It's far better to choose a niche, even if it turns out to be the wrong one, than to not choose a niche at all. Because at least then you're operating with intention and specificity. You'll get real data about what works and what doesn't, and you can adjust strategically from there. What you don't want to do is overthink this and end up doing nothing at all. Paralysis by analysis has killed more freelance careers than any other single factor. And here's the thing about AI and the future of design. The designers who are going to thrive aren't the ones panicked about being replaced. They're the ones who are so clearly positioned in their niche, so deeply expert in their market, that they're indispensable to their ideal client. That's not something technology can disrupt. That's something you build through intention and clarity, and it starts with the work we talked about today. So here's your homework. This week, I want you to work through these questions. Get clear on your 3 pillars. Do your self-audit, write down your positioning statement, and then, and this is the crucial part, start operating from clarity. Notice what changes. Notice what shifts in the type of clients who reach out. Notice how your confidence changes when you're crystal clear about who you serve and why. Because I promise you, when you stop trying to be everything to everyone and start being exceptional for someone specific, everything changes. and that's magical. Well, thanks for listening to Resourceful Designer. If this episode helped you at all, please share it with another designer, some other freelancer you know that may need to hear it. Now, I'll be back next episode with more strategies to help you streamline your design business and get back to what you do best, design. I'm Mark Decote. Until then, stay creative.